Hey, I'm Nashi.
I'm Rezlar.
And I'm Frosty. Welcome back to the Value Pack.
Hold on, I have to gear check Nash right now. Alright, that is some bull jabber. Dude, he CC'd me how to dance. What's happening? Rezlar!
People look at you like you're crazy, and they refuse to admit that it's pay to win, and just scream that it's pay to convenience! It's pay to convenience!
Big money, big money, big money, big money!
Oh shit, we got it! We fucking got it! And welcome everybody to another episode of the Value Pack. Some things to cover before we really get started. Nyashi is not here today. He had some IRL stuff going on. Of course, we're going to be talking about the Drakania. The Drakania is finally out. So is the new region and the new main storyline, main questline, however you want to put it. So we're going to be talking about all of that stuff today, as well as some GLabs stuff as well, just a little bit at the end. But Nyashi won't be joining us today. But luckily for us, we do have a special guest that wanted to come on and talk with us about some stuff. So I would like everybody to say thank you to Armin. Armin, thanks for joining us today, brother.
Hello.
Armin! Yeah!
Hello.
Look at
Is this
that.
thing
What's
working?
going on? Yeah, we can hear you.
It's going good. It's going good. Feels weird being on here. Not gonna lie. Definitely feels weird. Yeah.
Do you remember the last time you were on? It was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, man. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Since then,
A lot of stuff has happened
yeah.
since then.
a
A
lot,
lot of stuff has happened since then. Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot has changed. That day, I never thought I would meet you IRL when I met you, or when we talked on that podcast.
Yeah, I'd imagine, right? I'd imagine. Yeah.
Still haven't met
Well, how
Rezlar.
you guys been? You guys playing the new region? We got all the content.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
doing it right now.
I
Nice,
played.
man,
I
nice.
played the main questline day one. I played the on the new class and the new grind spots. I've tested out a little bit. I'm excited. We're gonna talk about all of that stuff, and until you're uncomfortable, a little bit about you as well, if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
We'll see. You know, I'm here to hype up our, all the new content we got and everything.
Yeah. Well, the last.
Oh, okay. I see. So they sent you in as a sleeper agent to make sure that we speak positively about all the new content.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm our hype man. All right?
Yeah. Yeah. The last time we interviewed you, you were just sort of like a BM ninja. Now you're different.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now you're a professional.
I think you're thinking of someone else.
You were a ninja that waved his flag on people and.
I
highlight
don't
reels.
remember that. I don't remember that.
Yeah, and it wasn't your fault. I think it's fair to say that Ninja does that to people. Like at first you were probably super nice, and then you started playing Ninja, and it kind of changes you over time because you never lose to anybody. So you're just like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
Listen, man. When I flagged, all right, it wasn't out of, it was just messing around. It's just messing around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
It's like when I e-buffed you in that duel one time for tools for a spot. It's for fun.
And you swap from your Guardian. I've had that happen.
Yes.
I've had that happen. I dueled a striker once. I don't know if you've heard this story, Armin, but this striker came up and asked to duel for spot, and I was on my hash, and I was like, oh, sure. And I swapped to my Kuno, and then we did like a 1st to 2, and I beat him, and I said good fights at the end, and he said not good fights. You swapped characters. That was cheese as hell.
Oh no.
What?
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what he said. He thought he was going to get that free magic DP win on me,
So real quick, do you mind if I do just more of a formal introduction? Just for
Yes,
anyone who
please.
doesn't know me in this
Yeah,
game?
Introduce yourself, Armin. Who are you? Why should people know you?
So nice to meet you guys. I am CM Armin. I'm an employee over at Pearl Abyss over here. Normally we don't hop into streams or anything like this, but kind of a special occasion. This time around, we have our new region coming out and everything, and we thought it would be a good idea to kind of interact with the community. We have a lot of new players coming into streams in the game, and so we wanted to kind of be able to hop in and show ourselves that we're here as well. So You know, kind of here to talk about the region, get people's thoughts, see what you guys think as well, obviously. And then yeah, just kind of also do some podcast stuff as well.
Yeah. So
Glad you could be here, man.
yeah.
No.
So this is officially sanctioned. You didn't sneak on. Someone knows
No,
you're here.
no, yes.
Okay.
Jay is aware of your presence.
I don't want to lose my job.
Okay.
That was the first thing I said whenever Frosty brought it up. I was like, I'm surprised they let him come on here because I won't say who, but I asked someone I think they're a CM, might be a GM. I'm not actually sure, but a long time ago I asked somebody to come on, and they said that they had to get a bunch of clearance, and it ultimately didn't end up going anywhere. So I was surprised whenever I was told you were coming on. I was like, dang, okay, sweet, finally got the clearance. Let's go.
We're moving up. We're moving up in the world.
Yeah. So, Armin, I'm trying to think of how to approach this first question because last time we spoke to you, you were but a mere ninja, but now you're an employee, and like I don't know, can you tell me just maybe like big picture what that experience has been like? Because I don't think a lot of people know or understand a little bit like at that much about CMs and GMs. They're kind of a mystery to a lot of people. You see them occasionally, or they see you guys on streams, but a lot of them don't get a chance to interact with you or know kind of like personally what it's like to be a CM or a GM. Or could you kind of give just maybe a broad sense, whatever you're allowed to say, of what it is kind of like being a CM or a GM at Pearl Abyss?
It's a good time. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. It's kind of just coming in, seeing a lot of the game content, and then working to try and improve it. Obviously, it's different if you have different roles, but for me, that's kind of a bigger part of what I try to do. And then we're obviously interacting with the community a lot. So
Yeah.
Hopping through streams, trying to help newer players, trying to help existing players if they have any, anything they're trying to work on or dealing with, and then yeah, pretty much that.
What is this is actually quite I don't actually know this. Maybe I should have asked when I met some of you guys, but what is the difference between a CM and a GM?
GM's game master, CM's a community master, I guess, or manager. CMs do more like community oriented work.
Okay.
And then GMs are more of the kind of CS and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of led to this? Were you trying to become a CM or GM, or was that kind of spawned from you casting? I know you were casting and people started really recognizing like, oh my god, like this guy's a super good caster. Is that sort of where that
So I mean, for anyone that is newer to the game in the chat that doesn't know me, I originally, when I was playing, I mean, you guys obviously know this, but back when I was playing, I was doing tournament casting for the game for like smaller communities and everything, right? And eventually, when they held the like official Arena Varsha tournament, you guys all know that I had the opportunity to fly over with Vert, RIP Vert, and cast a tournament.
Okay, hold on. Vert's not.
Nah,
Vert's not dead.
I know. I'm memeing. But to cast with Vert in them, and then yeah, I mean, just after that, things happen, and then now I'm here.
Okay. All right, I'm going to ask you just a couple more questions about yourself, and then we're going to move on to the content. First things first. Now you've been there for a while, like a year or more, right?
Almost a year.
Okay.
Almost a year.
So do you still, in your free time, log on to BDO and play BDO and enjoy BDO?
Yeah, of course. It's like
yeah,
pretty much part of my job. I got another game, man. I still play the game every day. Yeah, of course.
Okay. You still enjoy the game?
Yeah. I really love the game.
Okay.
I mean, I can never get tired of PvP, to be honest.
Yeah. Are you still?
I've always been a freak at that.
I know you're trying new classes, obviously, like at work and for work. Are you mostly still a ninja in your free time?
I pretty much still always play ninja, but I've been re-rolling a lot, trying new classes, trying to learn stuff.
Okay.
It helps me know a bit more about the game, and then I also can kind of improve my class knowledge. So it's good.
Is there something you learned about the game or the company or something that maybe people don't know that surprised you? Like maybe like when something you didn't know beforehand, like going into it, that you know now that's kind of cool that you'd be down to share. Something, give us like a nugget of knowledge from the inside that you're okay to share. Maybe you had no idea that, I don't know. I have no examples, but anything cool that you learned there that might be fascinating for people?
This is a bit of a tricky one because I don't know.
Tough.
I don't know what I can say in this story. So I'm gonna for now move on from this one because it's a bit hard.
All right. If you come up with something, let us know.
There's a lot of positive things. A lot of things that I'm like, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
So, I can say that.
I'll give an example. I didn't know that the console and PC team work closely.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. That was something that I was like, oh, I had no idea. And mobile, I didn't know like NA mobile was also like kind of there's cross communication, like at least from the NA side, or there was. I don't know about now. Maybe you kicked them all out.
No, we all work closely together. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. All right, is there this one's more your opinion, so hopefully I hope you can give us something here. But if you had more power, let's say you were CEO for one day, is there something about the game that you would like changed? Like what is something that you want to see changed or improved or added to the game that isn't currently in the game?
I'd buff Ninja. No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. Please don't. Definitely don't buff Ninja. That would be too OP. Honestly, I don't know. Again, it's another hard one for me to answer because I think they're doing a fine job right now. I don't have any qualms with like most of the things happening. Obviously, in every game, you're gonna have like issues that might be coming up later, or people are gonna complain about things. Right. But compared to I've been playing the game for a decent amount of time now. I started a long time ago, but in that span of time, I've only seen positive improvements for people being able to get into the game and everything like that. So, yeah, I'm happy.
All right, we'll move on. All right, I kind of wanted to start with the Winter Region, the quest line first. Reslar, maybe starting with you because you're in the thick of it right now, right?
Yes,
like you're on your way through.
I am currently going through the storyline. I'm level, I think 40 something at the moment. I literally just started this morning so that I could be doing it whenever we're talking about it. Was my goal.
Yeah. So how is it? Because when I did the quest line, I actually got power leveled to level 58 first. So I don't even know what the leveling up process is like over there. Do you have any gear, anything on that character? Or you're starting from scratch.
No. I literally have what's been given to me. So whenever you're questing through it, first thing I've noticed is you level up really fast. Like really fast. I've only been streaming for under 2 hours. I haven't been going hard. I spent probably a good 30 minutes just talking about SCPs with my guildmates instead of actually questing. And I'm still level 42. So you level up really, really fast. And then it gives you Naru gear through the Black Spirit as just like an auto completion quest.
Right.
As well as inventory slots, beginner Blackstones, some other things as well. So currently I'm level 42 with 34 AP and 36 DP, and I'm still just like cruising along, basically.
Right. And what are your initial thoughts on the questline itself so far?
Okay, so as far as like I can't talk about the story because I am an R spammer. That being said, whenever you run long distances, they give you the movement speed buff. This is something that seems obvious to people today, but it didn't used to be like that, so appreciate that. I got a lot of cutscenes in it, which is fantastic. I personally am not super invested into the storyline of the game because I'm just not that type of player. But I know there are a lot of people that are, and I think they'll really enjoy all of the cutscenes, entirely like voice acting stuff. It feels really like a lot closer to like Monster Hunter, where it has like the completely animated cutscene, like with all the characters that you're interacting with and stuff, which is a really good thing, I think, because a lot of people want that. I think it increases people's engagement with the storyline to have it be fully voice acted with lots of cutscenes and stuff. So all that stuff is really awesome. As far as like the quests themselves, there's been a pretty good variety. There hasn't been anything like annoying really. They have like that puzzle that I just was talking about, I think right before we got started.
Mhm.
There is a crab boss that you have to fight that's pretty fun because he's really tanky, but he doesn't do too much damage. And in fact, I don't think he really did any damage, but he's really tanky. So you really get to just like kind of like wail on him, which I don't know. Like some people might hate that, but I'm playing like Drakania, so I'm on this new class that I'm still trying to like figure out what buttons do what skills. So that was really fun.
Was it a crab or a spider? I thought it was a spider.
It might be a spider. I don't know. It's some
Oh,
sort of
no.
bug of some sort. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway,
A crab,
so yeah, it's
a crab
it's
isn't
pretty
a
fun.
bug.
Listen, man. I don't know what to tell. What do you want from me, Frosty? You're really gonna get caught up in the semantics of whether this was a bug or a crustacean.
I just was it a dragon? Armin, what about you? Have you gone through the entire quest line?
I'm actually putting it on hold for a little bit because
Okay.
I want to grind my my Labresca helmet. So
Mm-hmm.
that's been a fun grind. But yeah, I'm gonna be going through it later because I want to get the Dawn earring. Anyways, so yeah.
The earring he's talking about is basically it's like a Tet Dawn with 6 less accuracy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's 6 less accuracy, and I think you don't get the stamina as well. It's actually just going to be an alt earring for me. It's not even gonna be a main because I already have double Dawn earring. So yeah.
Yeah. There was a drop off in earring prices for like a day. I think a lot of people are using it. Sold their normal
Yeah, dude, pen dawns are down like 20 bill. I was kind of depressed
Dang,
because
really?
yeah, I was kind of depressed. So it's a little unlucky. The one I had was I got it for full price.
Yeah. The earring name is Bronte's Bolt. 12 AP, 28 accuracy. Yeah, so I was playing through the story. I played through the whole thing, and I also am an R spammer, but I can appreciate the fact that every part of the quest line is voice acted. I find that
Yes.
infinitely more interesting, and part of the reason I R spammed through it is because I was trying to level up my Drakania. I haven't made a season character yet. I always make when they release a new class, I make it on a non-seasonal so I could just play with my full gear immediately.
Mm-hmm. Gear carried. Go
So
on.
I was considering, this is not set in stone, but I was considering going back on a seasonal character and streaming kind of the whole storyline from start to finish with the whole voice acting, not skipping anything. Just because I have not ever experienced that in this game, and I don't want to just read. So the fact that it's all just spoken to me and there's cutscenes is something I might actually do. I think would be kind of fun.
Frosty's he's a dub watcher. He doesn't watch sub.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, honestly, you know what dictates that for me when I'm watching anime is if I will literally watch dubs if the subs are written poorly or it's like a white background with white text where it's like actually annoying to read. I've had a few animes where I'm like, dude, I'm literally just, why is this written on a white background? I'm just dubbing it. Have it. Although it also depends too. Like sometimes you hear a voice where you're like, nope, I'm going back to I can't.
That's true. That is very true. That is very true.
Yeah. Although that's sometimes like that actually goes both ways. Sometimes I feel like there's sometimes you're like, there's no way I can listen to this for the entire series. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I might actually go through and like listen to the whole thing and see what this story's about. I do know from the little bits that I picked up, Jordine's kind of a dick. He was incredibly rude and just said mean things for no reason. We'd like go help someone like, oh yeah, they're gonna consider you a hero now, despite the fact that you're really not. You know, stuff like that. I'm like, wow, what a companion to carry around or to hang out with. I don't know. The quest line seemed pretty cool. I like that it starts in a different area. I also noticed like I thought the quest line, and maybe Armin, you can clear this up. Maybe I just misunderstood, but I thought the quest line was you do one or the other, and then it removes the other one. But basically, after you finish the Eternal Winter quest line, it kind of takes you through Medaya, and then it starts you over at Ancient Stone Chamber, and you could do the other quest line as well.
I don't know the exact reason actually on that because again, I haven't ran through it to have the opportunity on this.
Uh-huh.
My guess is though, I feel like it's kind of a simple explanation because otherwise, there's like a lot of quest points you miss out on.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
there's a lot of story you miss out on.
Which it affects for like multiple reasons. 30,000 quests, main story if you want to still get it. So
Yeah. So one of the strategies for skill points that a lot of people have been doing is because we have the timepiece. So Rez, like this might be a strategy you might consider if you're trying to just play Drakania and see what it's like. You go through all the Eternal Winter quest line, and then it takes you kind of through Medaya. And after you finish the Medaya portion of the Eternal Winter quest line, it takes you to Ancient Stone Chamber and starts you on that normal Balanos quest line. And then once you get to Aliston, the Alchemist, on a seasonal character, he lets you do the simplified quest, which lets you just skip through all of that to get all those extra skill points.
Yep.
And then you
Right,
timepiece yourself out, and now you could just use Drakania with like your main gear or whatever.
that would have been the main problem is that if it was one or the other, you don't get the simplified access.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
I was gonna ask, with the new winter region and all this, we do have a very special character they added.
Oh, Lando?
Yeah, Lando, yeah, dude. What do you guys think about him?
He's certainly got
I like him.
some dance moves.
Dude, he does, man.
Hey,
Dude,
he just starts wiggling.
Dude, we posted a dance challenge on our TikTok, right? And
Wait,
and-
hold on, pause. This is a revelation to me.
I'm
You guys
serious.
have a TikTok?
yes,
Yeah.
we do have a TikTok. Yeah, go check out our TikTok, guys.
Hell yeah.
Well, our console partners make fun of it all the time. They really love like going through it for the content. Anyways, so what was I gonna say? So we have a TikTok, and so we did like a dance challenge with Lando because he's like dancing, right?
Yeah.
And they they came up with the idea in the office to like have me and Lamoria dance. And then they're gonna take it and put it as like, oh, watch our GMs and CMs like joining it. I refused. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, I cannot do anything like this. I would embarrass myself so hard.
Yeah.
You talking about dancing? It just came up to me.
Well,
But
it's funny because we were so I just like drove home. We were like out in San Diego. We had like a couple hour drive back, and there was just some random song that came on, some like 80s song. And I literally, like, while I was just driving, started mimicking the Lando dance moves. And Miss Frosty was like, what the hell is happening? And I was like, I'm just feeling it, babe. Don't judge me, all right? I was like doing his sick dance moves in the car,
Oh, man.
They're addicting. They're cool moves. They're cool moves.
He's got the moves, man. He's got the moves.
Yeah, he's a fun character. He's a little bit of a... I don't think his dad would be that proud of him.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, what's that supposed to mean?
Whoa.
Hold the phone.
I mean, his dad was the great and powerful Khan, right? It talks about it right in the beginning, and I just think, I just think his dad wouldn't be the most proud of him. That's all. I'm just guessing. I guess I'll find out when I go through and actually listen to all the content. Maybe he's heroic. Too far. People said too far.
Too far.
So Rez, what do you think of the winter area aesthetically? Like going through the main town and going through like, I don't know, any of the areas you've been so far, the places it's taken you.
Yeah, so I like it. I do wish that there was like more snow, but I do like that it is like slightly less up and down Dragon, because I love Dragon, but whenever you're running through Dragon, you gotta go like, I don't know, let's say like 100 distance east, but that takes like 700 distance of movement because you have to run up the sheer side of a cliff. So it feels like that, but like better. So it kind of has a very similar thing, which makes sense because it is right next to Dragon, right?
Right.
But I haven't been to like the grind spots yet, so I don't know if like there's like at the Erethia's Limbo or at the Murrows. I don't know if there's snow in these regions or not. But yeah, that was the only thing that I was like, I was surprised that it was like fairly green and not white,
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of parts that are covered in snow, for sure. Although one of the grind spots like in a cave, 2 of them are outside, but there's definitely like I think one of them isn't really in the snow, the lower end spot, if you could call it that. Well, I guess it has 2. Winter Tree Fossil. That one's more like the foothills of the mountain, so there's only like patches of snow here and there. But then Jade Forest is like all snowed in, and then the other place you're in a cave. So, and I've not gotten a key yet, so I've not been to the 4th spot. Erethio's Limbo. So not too sure there, but I'm pretty sure that's all inside too. It's like in a cave.
Yeah, I like how it looks though. I do I like the look of Dragon. So this being geographically right next to Dragon makes it like relatively similar, and I like it. I like that like literally right now I'm looking towards like the mountain that separates the 2 regions basically, and you can just see this giant mountain ridge. And it's like, I don't know, I like it. It's cool. It's like in the valley next to the giant mountain. I don't know. It's kind of sick. I like it.
Are you going to make it your hometown? Your home city?
No.
Why not?
It will forever remain Velia. Hate to break it to you.
I love the town. Like, I think the main city looks super cool. It's not like huge or anything, but it looks cool.
I like that the main city. I kind of actually, maybe this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I kind of like that it's not this giant metropolis thing. It's just like a camp.
Yeah.
It's like a big, wide, spread out camp. I kind of like that actually.
Yeah. So you said, Armin, you said that you've been working towards. Sorry, I was at a concert, so I lost my voice. So occasionally I'm gonna crack like a teenager. You said you're grinding for your Ember. Where are you grinding for and why at that spot? Where are you grinding for?
Right where you're grinding.
Okay, in this cave. Why this cave?
Because it's chill. Honestly, it's like
it is so chill.
It is so chill.
Yeah.
Compared to the other one, I think at the other one I have to also worry about players coming in to attack me a bit more. So this one's just like oh well, I don't really have to worry about that too much. When I want to get PvP content while I'm grinding, I go to the other one though. Been liking the PvP content lately, so it's been a good time.
Yeah, I think I like the other one more, like the Jade Force. I really enjoy killing those mobs, but yeah, this one is like, especially on Drakania right now, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Her PvE for me doesn't feel particularly great, so this place feels more comfortable because the mobs are pretty squish. But the this cave, I actually do love the idea of this cave though. Like I like that it's like just this never-ending flow of mobs, and there's times where literally like my pets can't keep up and I'm like manually looting, and then you go to the next room and then there's like I actually haven't even gotten to fight the boss yet, the big boss. It's not happened yet, but yeah, I like this room a lot. I've been told from some people who kind of have done a few hours at each spot that they're pretty comparable in terms of like embers per hour. How's your luck been on embers so far?
I'm getting like 1 ember an hour right now, and I'm only like 7 hours in. I haven't grinded too much because I haven't had much time with work. But
right.
It's been rough.
Rez, do you even have a Fallen God armor?
Yes, what the heck?
I don't know. You know, you're always just a few steps behind in gear. I'm not really sure. Is this like is this something you're going for once you finish the quest line? Are you trying to get this Lebreska helmet?
No, probably not. Not right away. What I'm probably gonna do is just wait for everybody else to get theirs, and then I'll start worrying about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what I did for the Fallen God armor. Is I was just like, I'm just gonna wait, and then everybody else will get theirs, and then it won't be as contested, and then I can go get mine.
Yeah. I popped up my add-ons for someone who's like looking for them. I don't have them yet on Nightbot, and I'm not 100% set in stone on my add-ons yet. I still have to experiment more with it. But for now, like these are the add-ons that I'm using. All right, well let's talk a little bit about where are our snowboards, man? Is that in the game? I haven't actually sought the snowboards, but I saw a video of snowboarding, and I don't know if we have snowboarding. Do we have snowboarding? Are we waiting on the snowboarding? Does can anyone confirm or deny in chat? Do we have snowboarding? I want to do tricks.
I haven't heard anything.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Rose?
Yeah.
No snowboarding yet. Okay. All right, we're still waiting on the snowboarding. All right, let's talk about Drakania a little bit. Armin, I remember when Corsair came out, you did a few RBFs on stream.
Yes.
I know I think you streamed once or twice since this patch has come out. Have you played Drakania a lot? What are your feelings on Drakania? Your initial impressions?
Well, I did play it on stream.
Okay.
Drakania, and I did RBF. I'm sad you don't know that.
I'm sorry,
That's my
man.
heart.
Sorry.
It was honestly, it's fun. I really like playing the class.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like doing work pings while I do. All right. So I really like playing the class.
Yeah.
To be honest, I know people, because obviously, you know, I look at community trends and what players are saying all the time. I know a lot of people are complaining about her PvE, but her PvP is like also interesting, because I see times where she just absolutely like deletes people, and she has good SA rotations, and then I see other times where it's a bit different.
Right.
So I don't know. I honestly, I think it's just whenever you have a new class release, you always need to wait a little bit. You need to see how things are panning out, because it takes people time to figure out how it works.
Right.
But as for overall on making the class, I had a great time playing it. I had a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah. Rez, I know you're still in the early stages, but how is it for you so far?
Playing it, it's pretty fun. I'm still, like you said, I'm still missing a bunch of stuff. I'm only level 45, so like I don't even have an ion gauge. But I don't know.
That's a prime thing.
Yeah. It's pretty fun though. I mean, I said this whenever we looked at the trailer that came out, the combat trailer rather. But like the animations are like really good on it. The fire and lightning stuff is really well done. So yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying my time on it.
Okay, so I'm gonna, if you guys will indulge me here a little bit, I'm gonna go into some detail. I'm gonna piggyback off of what Armin said about the PvP. So far the PvP, the group PvP to me feels quite good. It actually reminds me a lot of Succession Corsair, where you kind of have a couple of really hard-hitting skills, and you can get into a group. It's one of the few classes I think that does a really good job of going into a group and being able to sustain inside of a group while still dealing out a bit of damage. So to me, her group PvP already feels pretty good. I think she has, it's like a lot of utility in a different sense of the word. Instead of like heals and like speed spell and stuff, I think she has like the mana drain stuff. She removes slows from your allies. So if you actually fight with people, like here's how it felt to me. You could solo dive people if they don't have a whole lot of gear, and like 1v5 or whatever when you pop the PA. But when you are completely by yourself, I feel like it's a lot less effective, especially because she is susceptible to getting grabbed in groups like Zerkers or Strikers or whatever that happen to be in that group can grab. But when you fight with people, man, it feels really powerful. If I jump into a group with someone else, like 2 or 3 people, even if we're outnumbered, it feels like she can be really powerful and impactful and very difficult to deal with. And she does have a ton of protection that you could kind of chain together.
I mean, during Calpheon Ball, Jay Hindi mentioned it, and it's that, you know, like he said during Coffee Ball that, like, hey, it's meant to be a class that you get into the fight and then you stay in the fight with. So I think it makes sense, especially you can like look at the kit from a design standpoint, that, when you have people with you, it's really well. Super hard to CC.
Yeah, it's super hard to CC. Go ahead, Rose.
No, I was just gonna say, so if you're leveling up, you're running and doing all your quests, and you find that big snowstorm area, make sure you don't go run to the middle of it trying to like look around, because the guardian boss will spawn and kill you instantly.
It's funny you say that. My friend was grinding Jade Forest the other day, and he kept saying that like people were running by his mobs while he was fighting the mobs, and the mobs were killing them. Because like one of the quests has you run through, so it's like kind of scary. You like run through the mobs, but I guess because he was fighting a pack that's like on top of a path that a couple of these people were running, they were just dying.
Yeah, no, I ran past some striker that was killing, and one of the mobs hit me and did like half my HP. That was pretty scary.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's not a problem. But yeah, I just wanted to. Yeah, the Guardian boss. I was like looking around at the big snowstorm thing, and then the Guardian boss popped up, and then I was like, for some reason, I thought like maybe this will like scale with me. I don't know why I thought that, and then it just basically one hit me, and I was like, okay, fair enough. Have a nice day.
Yeah. I was gonna say she has an interesting way of staying in the fight. So the way the heal seems to work, to me at least, like in a tactical sense, it's like basically if you CC her, the heal is completely negated and she'll just die like any other class. But if you can play her where you try your best to stay protected, try to save your iframe for if someone goes for a grab, and you keep yourself upright, you have the ability to withstand a lot of damage because you can heal inside the fight. And then the other thing that's interesting about the heal is while you're charging up, for example, I'll just use Shift LMB for example, people can deal damage and try to kill you during that. That's fine. And with Shift LMB in particular, since it doesn't have the PA on it itself, it's just a normal heal. You could die, but then there's a risk for players that stay in too long because now the skill's going to hit you pretty hard, and also has 2 CEC attempts. It has a stiffen before the hit and a float on the like uppercut, which by the way was a massive improvement over the stun that it had on GLabs, because the stun, I don't know, the stun just did not feel good, and because it's on the uppercut instead of like the second hit, where the CC is, also feels a lot better. But yeah, it's really actually kind of cool. And then when you have that PA up, because the way it works, it procs the PA multiple times while you're like in that bubble. So if someone does grab you, you have a chance to you have a pretty good chance to survive, because that PA might last another 2-3 seconds. So you don't.
Dude, it's crazy, man. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I was like, my first time RBFing on it, like the night it came out, I remember like I was completely surprised. I was like, wait, I'm about to get out of it. I was like, I got grabbed. Wait, hold on a minute. Oh my God, I'm going to survive? I live! You know, I was like just completely shocked that I survived. Yeah, the PA is huge. And then healing while people are dealing damage also feels like really big. So right now, group PvP feels pretty nuts. Obviously, she's still missing Rhutum's and C skills in the future. But I want to talk about her 1v1. Because her 1v1 it's a weird one to me. It also feels like Succ Corsair, where it's not bad in that she's helpless, because she actually can defend herself and stay upright in a 1v1 against really bad matchups. Like I think even if you're against like a Succ Kuno, for example, you can kind of stay in the fight for a very long time because she has great disengage, she has great repositioning. You could save your iframe if you think the Kuno's going to grab you. But the problem is her catches. It's like very difficult to catch other people with the limited amount of catches that she has. Her best one, at least to me, is Shift F, because you can kind of wrap it around people's frontal guards and it moves you forward, and it turns pretty well with your camera after using an ability. So when you chain together Shift F with something else, you can get behind people's frontal. The forward E is pretty decent, especially because obviously it's a protected CC. Super armor, but it has a fairly small AoE, and it does have a little bit of a wind up, so it's not super difficult to react to. But if people aren't like on their game non-stop, you could get caught by it pretty easily, and because it's a stiff, it could flow into a pretty powerful combo. And then obviously like the float on Shift LMB is really nice, because but it's more of like a, hey, I'm about to do this to you, you need to back up. Like it more gets people off of you than it is a catch. Now, you could charge it up. This is one of the cool things, a lot of these skills, and it actually takes a little bit of practice to do, because the way AD RMB works, so if I hold Shift LMB and start charging it, I have to keep holding LMB while also pressing AD RMB to start the iframe, and then it'll do the release at the end. If you're not careful and you let go of LMB early when trying to do AD/RMB to move, it'll just cast the ability. So you actually have to keep your hand on both LMB and RMB to do the cancel. Same thing with Shift F and Shift RMB. You have to either hold F or hold RMB. But it's pretty cool because you could use that as like a surprise catch. But yeah, I think most classes with kind of how protected people are these days, it'd be pretty tough to catch like a good player. Which is why I think in group PvP she shines a little bit more. I don't know. Do you guys have any, Armin or Rez, do you have any thoughts or agree or disagree on any of that?
I mean, yeah, I would probably agree. I've only 1v1'd one of them.
Mhm.
So I can't really speak too much about their like 1v1 stuff because I don't have too much experience. I have no experience on it, and I don't have any real experience fighting it. But I think from the little bit that I have seen, it's definitely like, even with the ions, it does seem like they had a problem trying to CC me. But they were very protected the entire time. So
Yeah. They're super protected. I mean, I always find it funny when people react like, "Oh my god, she has so much protection." Like, dude, I don't know, every class has so much protection right now. That's not really that surprising to me. Like, I don't know, there's like maybe 2 classes that don't have like a fully protected rotation if they want to.
Succ Ninja.
Succ Ninja.
Sorry, I coughed a little bit. My bad.
Yeah, Succ Ninja, and the one that's probably most obvious is like Succ Sage because
let's go.
Because they're slower, right? And so it's a little bit like Succ Ninja at least has the advantage of like, well, it's pretty quick, so even like its quick stuff's hard to catch. But yeah, but for the most part, like, I don't know. I mean, Awakened Kuno has been able to be fully protected for 4 years. Like, that's been the case since the CC changes. You've been able to stay fully protected if you want. So it's not really that surprising to me. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say 2 things. I do think that if you're like for anyone that's like a newer player, I think it is a good class to start out on. I think it's definitely it gave me that vibe of being more newer player friendly. The inputs are easy. The kit's easy to understand. It looks super flashy. I felt like after I got 5 movement speed, it also felt a lot smoother to play. It didn't feel like clunky at all. I don't know what your thoughts on that, Frosty. But it definitely felt smoother to play especially once I got 5 movement speed. But and then the second thing I was gonna say was I was wondering what you guys thought for Awakening. Your ideas.
Yeah. All right. Wait, let me address the clunky thing because I think a lot of people confuse clunky with slow.
Yeah,
like,
they do.
They confuse clunky with slow. Like, I keep seeing people say she feels clunky. She doesn't feel clunky to me at all. Her skills flow together incredibly well.
They do.
Like,
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, it all feels like it's put together. I think it's just people that are used to faster classes think it's clunky, but they just mean that it's slow, or like its attacks are slow because movement is fast, like really fast. It's just that its attacks can feel quite slow. So yeah, to me, it doesn't feel clunky in the traditional sense, but it definitely feels like some of the skills are a little bit slow. Now, some of them make total sense to me. Shift RMB, Shift LMB, those are like they're super powerful abilities that hit incredibly hard. Shift RMB even has a bit of range. Plus they like heal when you charge. And then Shift LMB hits pretty hard and also has the CC. SRMB, I'm a little bit iffy on. I think when you do the canceled version, it's kind of fast, but I don't know. Well, I don't know. I guess, like, I don't want to get too in the weeds, but basically, kind of like you said, Armin, where sometimes the combos feel like they hit super hard and sometimes they don't. I think it's in PvE, it's incredibly easy to keep your ion bar up and always have the full powerful attacks. Whereas in PvP, it's not as easy. It's a little bit more tedious. So you could run out.
I think that's where I guess like the skill ceiling of the class can come in a little bit more in PvP. Because I mean, like, do you remember like old Sorc, where the good players on it were just absolutely cracked because they had good shard management and everything.
Yep.
And then it got kind of like eased down a little bit, and it's like okay, it's like super easy kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of like that, where it's like right now it's definitely a little more. You need to pay attention for your ions and everything, and how you want to play to get them. But I think that's where the skill ceiling comes in. I'm more of a hardcore PvP player myself, so I mean, obviously, I'm gonna think about it differently. But I don't know. I'm not too sure. Not too sure as of now.
Yeah. And then as for Awakening, I have no idea, man. Every time I think I have a grasp on what Pearl Abyss might do, I get an Awakened Nova thrown at me, and I'm like, okay, I have no clue.
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily need to say like what the Awakening you think is going to be. It's more so, what do you hope out of the Awakening? You can compare it to old classes, whatever you want to do.
Rez, why don't you start off?
Okay. Yeah, because we talked about this fairly in depth last week. I think we asked ourselves the same question. I mentioned that I kind of hope that the Awakening personally is something. I'd like to see something. The only way I can describe it, and I don't mean this in the balance sense, is like Succ Zerker or Awakened Striker. Something that is kind of like feral. Do you play League of Legends, Armin, or have you in the past?
I do play League of Legends.
You know Shyvana?
Yes.
Yeah, that. So that's what I'm hoping for, is like kind of like dragon-esque fighter, right? Someone in Frosty's chat last week mentioned like claws, like flame or lightning claws or something like that. That sounds really dope. I'd like to see some sort of like feral fighter bruiser type thing that has more like wild like skill animations and stuff. So that way you kind of have the contrast of like you have the like Succession, which is like fairly like knightly with like the big sword and stuff, lots of big like AoEs, big animations, not slow moving, but slow casting, unless you have ions, obviously. And then you can have the more like quick several ability type fighter type thing that is less
So I got a quick
knightly.
question for you. I got a quick question.
All right.
What's your main class and your tag class?
My main class? So my main class is Berserker. And then right now, as of Wednesday, I am now a Succ Sage player.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Striker. Okay, never mind, you're fine.
No. Succ Sage, baby. I'm playing the best class in the game and the worst class in the game.
I was like, oh, you're like, oh yeah, I kind of want to be like, oh, like that Zerker Striker. I'm like, but don't you play those two classes?
All right, first of all, Armin, Resler is trying to be cool. Last week he wants the Awakening to be Yuumi from League of Legends. Now he's saying Shyvana.
Wait, what?
What? He said it'd be really cool if you attach to someone else and let them do all the work.
No. I said you should turn Shy into Yuumi. Why, Armin? Can you answer me this? Why can I not load up a Shy in my cannon and launch it over the walls of a siege castle? Explain.
On a Zerker?
I think next time Frosty, if he ever gets a chance to come cast again, just give him that suggestion, then he can come and run it by. He can come and run it by, man.
Yeah, I've been like, my poor friend Reslar, who's very, very ill, said that he wants you to be able to shoot a Shy over the wall.
Let's hope you don't get ill off the LNL this time.
All right, Armin. Okay, humans are humans. All right, things happen. All right, so moving on. I don't know. For me, for Awakening, this is incredibly far-fetched, and I don't believe could ever happen. But I do think it would be kind of cool because people want her to be a sword class. They like that idea of it. I think it would be really cool if her Awakening was something to do with like, God, this is so hard to explain, but it's like maybe the Awakening slot is like Dragon's Blood or something to do with like her dad, Markthanon, and then it just like empowers her sword even further, so she still is kind of using a greatsword, but just has a different set of attacks and stuff. Yeah, almost like a different stance entirely.
Her greatsword turns into a greater sword,
or her Zweihander turns into a greatsword, or maybe it becomes like a lighter in Awakening, and she just moves even faster with like her Awakening abilities. Something like that would be really cool. I don't know. It would be cool. To be something like I don't know. I like the theme of it right now, so I'm a little bit worried it's going to be completely different.
Like Nova.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. What you're worried about.
Yeah.
I mean, the main thing is that like, they're definitely like looking towards what people are saying for what they want the awakening to be.
Mhm.
So they're taking everything into account pretty much. So
Yeah.
I mean, as long as people are
they
saying the same
legitimately
thing,
have not even started it, like started working on it. Like other like
Uh,
concepts, I'm sure they're doing, but
No,
like
no. I'm talking about like when this stuff was all going on. I'm not too
Yeah.
sure where it is, obviously, because I'm not on the development team. I'm also not gonna leak any of that. But what I'm trying to say is that like they're always pretty much reading and they're looking around, and if anyone's mentioning something on this stuff, they're like, oh, it's a cool
Yeah.
idea or whatever. So it always is important as long as you guys are posting them in the right place. That is,
Yeah.
posting in Twitch chat comments isn't gonna do much.
I've not been that like I've never really been super disappointed with the Awakening, even though like so for example like Succ Nova, I liked the theme, but Awaken Nova was still like pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like I've never been like, oh man, like that's lame. I know Amertat was pretty upset with Corsair, but I thought Corsair's Awakening was pretty cool, even though it was like pretty different. But Awaken Sage was pretty nuts to me. The only one that really I didn't like was Guardian, but I didn't like her pre-awakening either. It's not my style. So I don't know. I'm sure whatever they do is going to be interesting, even if it ends up being different. Just hopefully it's fun, I guess, for me. So I kind of like playing new classes for a while.
I think they've been pretty good about making at least fun like classes for quite a while now.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, Sage was like Sage is fun. Like Sage is even fun in PvE on Awakening.
Yeah, Sage is really fun.
Which is why I'm wondering why Rez you're playing Succession.
Okay. Well, do you want me to tell you why? Because there's a couple of reasons.
Where did this come from?
Okay, so first of all, okay, Armin, shield your ears because we're gonna enter complaints are a little bit here. I don't care about 1v1s much anymore. Because I don't know if this is the case for everybody, but the desync for me is so unbearable. Every time I lose a 1v1 to desync, I want to uninstall this game so bad. So to avoid that, because I don't want to uninstall this game, I try not to put any emphasis whatsoever on 1v1s. So I told myself, I'm like, okay, I want to play like large scale classes. I don't want to play Zerker for reasons I'll get into in a second. Like what should I like try and tag? And then I realized like boom, Succ Sage. It's supposedly the worst class in the game. Like nobody plays it. It's awful at 1v1s, but I don't care about that. And I feel like it has pretty good potential in large scale actually, because I've seen Succ Sages do well in large scale.
Yep.
And so I was like, all right, we'll try Succ Sage. And then I have a list of classes I'm going to try if Succ Sage doesn't work out, but I'm actually really enjoying it, honestly.
Doesn't Divius play Succ Sage on our skill?
He does.
I'm not sure.
Oh, he comes in and starts controversy constantly because a lot of Succ Sages hate that Divios says Succ Sage is good in large scale. It like kills them. They hate to hear it.
I definitely think like it's not okay. Here's my expert opinion as someone who's played the class for 4 days. It's definitely not as bad as Redditors would have you think. It's not OP, but it's also not bad in large scale. Now in 1v1, oh boy.
Yeah. Definitely a group class. For
sure.
And I think one of the harder things too is when you go against like top guilds, you have to have gear, otherwise like you just die. But one of the things Divios talks a lot about is that it's a class where like so the way he describes it is if you know how to position properly, you're literally invisible. Like so you're just throwing out abilities on people that literally don't know you're there. Even the little streak, if you fight with people, the point of it is that you need to like play alongside your group and then like flank and like do stuff like that. It's like very, very, very position based. And if you're not in the right position, you get punished a lot, like far more than other classes. Yeah,
because it's insanely unprotected. Which I don't know why that is. It's really bizarre how unprotected it is. But yeah, the positioning is crazy. And that's why I think like it has so much potential if you actually play it right. which I currently am not. I'm working on it. But yeah, like the positioning is huge. There's so many times where I'm like trying to force like a fight and then I die instantly, like shocker. But then the next time I'm in that situation, I'm like, okay, hold on, let me like reset here real quick. Let me like back out, like break line of sight with this person so they stop chasing me, find a teammate, something else, and then like come back and try again in like a different scenario, and it's like free kills every time.
Yeah.
So it's very 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 heavily like knowledge based, I think. So yeah, I think Divios is 100% correct about that.
Yeah. Not to say it's not without its issues.
Oh no, it's got issues.
I've talked a lot about. There's definitely some subtle things you could change to make it feel a lot better, but it's like it's not useless. Like people, they make it sound useless.
Yeah,
Dude,
no, definitely not.
Dude, so, what is it? Norelia's gonna go back to Succ Sage then, man. You want to buff Norelia?
No,
No,
that's true. Actually, that's
I'm
true.
joking. I'm joking.
No, you really don't. You don't want to buff Norelio. All right. Wait, Red. So you were going to talk about what's one of the reasons why you don't want to play Zerker?
Okay, so there's a couple reasons why I don't want to play Zerker. First of all, I'm tired of people raging at me about Zerker. Like, I just started playing the class when reworks came out.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating, getting very old, having people try and invalidate my opinions because I play the class that it happens to be OP now, but I've been playing it for 6 years. So that's part of it. Also, I don't really want to play Awakening because I think that, and I know this is going to be a very controversial statement, I actually don't think Awakening Berserker is in a super good place right now. I think Titan Blow is covering up for a lot of things that are kind of like problematic on that class.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of gear, then you can just Titan Blow people to death. Even if you don't have a lot of gear, you can still just play around Titan Blow, but that's boring as hell. And yeah, I'm just not having a super good amount of fun on it, and it's not worth taking the heat from like everyone in the community for playing the class that I enjoy. So I don't like playing flavor of the month classes, so I can't really play Succession. I'm not really enjoying Awakening all that much. So at least not enough to warrant taking the heat for playing it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna try and play something else for a while until hopefully Succession, Zerker, and Titan Blow get nerfed, and then everybody can start raging about other classes, and I can go back to playing Zerker.
Yeah, I actually don't disagree with you about Awakened Zerker. Like, I do think Titan Blow itself is too strong, but the class overall by itself, like post rework, doesn't seem too strong, and it definitely has like its issues, its pluses and minuses. Yeah, here's the thing, because I'm actually dealing with the exact same thing, Rez. Like, and
with Kuno, yeah,
and from people that I know personally, that are like actually trying to be like, dude, you do realize you play Kuno, right? Like, you don't have these problems. Your class is so busted. You realize like what Kuno has going for it, right? You realize like we're all griefing ourselves by not playing Succ Kuno, right? And it's like I am going to shame, like, now, one, I don't like a lot of people on the class, so I do hope it gets nerfed, but I am going to shamelessly play it in large scale and whenever I want to or need to or feel, because I don't care, because none of those people were around being like, hey, Frosty, man, it sucks that you can't make Succ Kuno work in large scale. Like, hey, Frosty, I wish so much. Like, none of these people that are complaining about it were also there saying, like, I hope it gets better PvE and blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, you guys weren't there. I've always been like, dude, people I know, I'm not gonna name names, but there is someone I know that is literally like, well, I mean, you do realize you're playing Succ Kuno. It's like, dude, you have known me for 3 years. You do realize I've always been on my Kuno. Like, it's like,
I've always been a Kuno player. You realize this, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's like I've like, at least amongst my friend group, I was like infamously kicked out of a guild for playing Kuno, out of a popular guild. So it's like, yeah, I've always been Kuno, even when I'm not allowed in guilds because of it. Like, that's not new. So yeah, I don't care. Yeah, play what you like. It's not. Here's the thing I say a lot of the time. Like, obviously, you don't want a class busted, and people are frustrated. So I understand people's frustration when they feel like, well, there's nothing I can do against a Succ Kuno, or when I go into large scale, or even 1v1, there's nothing I could do against a Succ Zerker. I totally understand the frustration and why they're bothered, but those people have to understand the people playing the class are not the ones who made the class that way. And now obviously there's a lot of like people that just roll to a class because they're strong, and those people will always do that regardless of what the class is. But for the people that like normally play it, like there's nothing we can do about it. Like I have said, oh, like people want to like, hey Frosty, like you do feel guilty playing that class, right? And it's like, no, I don't, because it was horrible forever. And now that it's good, like I've said openly, it needs nerfs, and I hope it gets nerfs. But then people take it's like a whole nother level, you know? It's a weird thing. It's not just BDO too. This happens in so many games where it's just, yeah, you basically, your class could be bad for 5 years and then finally be good, and it's just like, yeah, you need to feel bad for playing that. But I don't think you should, Russ. If you enjoy Zerker, you should play it. Now, if you're not having fun, you know, that's, what can you do about it?
Yeah, well, I think it's a sliding scale, right? So it's like as the community annoying me goes up and like the fun meter goes down, eventually there's a tipping point at which I'm like, I think I'm just gonna play something else for a while until this scale tips back in the opposite direction, whether that goes class enjoyment goes up or community annoyance goes down. So like I'm not gonna reroll my weapons or anything. Unfortunately for me, I found out by re-rolling before reroll coupons came out for like 4 years that I'm forever a Zerker main. There's no point in me re-rolling my coupons because I'll just re-roll them back to Zerker in 6 months anyways. So I'm just gonna tack something else and enjoy something else for a while until something happens. And right now that's Succ Sage, and right now I'm honestly enjoying it. I'm having a good time on Succ Sage.
Armin, you're not absolved from this either. I like you've had, I mean, on Succ Ninja, I was
gonna say
especially pre-reworks. I mean, pre-reworks, it must have been like, I mean, yeah, people fight you and they're just, no one will be like, oh man, like nice play. It's always like, God, that freaking class, man.
Yep.
I mean, actually, I mean, the thing is that I think for a lot of people like fighting Succ Ninja. Funny enough, that is typically the comment I hear, is that like, oh, dude, fighting Succ Ninja is actually pretty fun because it feels like you have space to outplay the ninja. It's not just like they're tossing gear at you usually, or they're tossing like CCs or like what is it, unprotected CCs at you. Like you feel like you can actually catch them a lot of the time. So I mean, for me, it hasn't been as bad, to be honest. But you know, I'm a ninja, so everyone hates me.
Everyone does, for sure. I don't know. I saw it a lot in my chat from people that would come in during the Succ Wizard era where they'd be like, man, I feel guilty playing my class. And it's like, dude, don't, like, listen. Yeah, the class needs to be looked at, but it's not your fault. If that's the class you enjoy playing, if that's what you have the most fun on, then just play the class. Like, who cares what people say? I don't know, like, the thing is about the community a lot of the time is it doesn't even matter if your class is OP or not. People are always going to complain. Like, I've seen it on every single class. You die to a tamer, it's not fair, it's a 2v1. You die to Succ Nova, it's not fair, it's a 4v1. You die to a Kuno, it's not fair, you have block jump. Or you have block jump, or Ninja Kuno, you have block jump, or you have Tenon Cutter, whatever the case. Like, oh, if you die to a Zerker, whether it's in a good state or bad state, it's like you have 3 grabs. You die to a Guardian, it's like, well, you're never open. Everyone complains about every class always. Which also is like, God, this is so like in the weeds. But I also wonder about this with PA, and I know like Armin, you don't know like what the dev team is thinking necessarily or whatever, but I always wonder about PA. Like I feel like it's got to be so hard to strike a balance between adding something cool and powerful that isn't going to upset people, because like, so for example, I saw a lot of people complain about the heal right away, and maybe the heal is too strong. I still think it's yet to be determined, but I don't think we shouldn't try adding cool, powerful stuff. Like, if we're playing superhero classes, like they should have cool and powerful stuff that's like, oh man, I want to avoid that because it's strong. It's like you can't
mine's just a ninja.
Okay, stop. Every class shouldn't just be like super basic, like okay, it has plenty of openings and it's lame and none of its skills are strong. We're good now. The class is fair. It's like it should have skills that are like intimidating and scary that you want to avoid. I think that's like every class should have that. I don't know. It's like a weird, like no one should have anything powerful or cool.
I think that's one of the main draws to the game is that for anyone that just wants to join in is that it definitely has a lot more unique class design compared to other games,
Yep.
and it also gives
Yeah.
you a lot more freedom in your play and how you want to play. And that's I mean that's why I always kind of fell in love with BDO. I don't think there's any other game that has anything like Succ Ninja, not even close.
Yeah.
Whether it's FPS, whatever game you want to go to. So I see what you mean, and I kind of agree. I mean, you could see like the class development has also gone that way over time, like kind of. I mean, if you compare the game now compared to like 2016, you're gonna see a drastic difference.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and I if it's on the topic of Drakania and the heal, like I think overall they've done a good job fine tuning everything. I don't think the heal is even like crazy strong.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like, well, I mean, I don't know. If it has something powerful, should it just be removed because it's strong? And I don't know. Like, I'm okay with there being some strong stuff in the game that's scary. What do you guys think about her effects? Like the lightning and the fire, the mixture of the lightning and the fire. Like, did you expect before you saw it? Because we saw like a teaser with the silhouette. And we kind of knew about like the greatsword, but I'm kind of surprised that it has lightning and fire elements.
I think people were kind of expecting fire because of the dragon on the shoulder thing, right?
Right.
People kind of like said like, oh, it's a dragon ornament on the shoulder relatively early, so they were thinking like something to do with dragons. But the lightning is a really cool addition, and it's primarily lightning. The fire is kind of like the sub effect, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I already said I think it looks really cool, honestly.
I think it looks dope. No complaints.
Yeah, I normally don't like fire, but mixed with lightning, it looks so sick.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta talk
I just
about.
wish
yeah.
I wish I could bring myself to playing remastered. Gotta get out of the low opti. every
Well,
once in a while.
dude, I can't. I'm the opposite. Like, I'll play lowest opti for Siege and Node Wars if I have to, if it's big. But the moment I'm in like a 30-man or a 40-man or something that's gonna be smaller, I would much rather play in at least medium. And for me, I always go back and forth between medium graphics and remastered. Like, I'll really like one for like a week and then swap back and like the other. I can't.
Sure.
Yeah, I need those animations, man. Although some classes, like Awakened Kuno in a lowest opti, where she has black skill effects, actually look pretty cool. But some classes don't.
Play on a low, Armin. That's what I do. Still get plenty of frames.
Oh no, I was trolling. Ever since I got a 3080, I've been doing Siege with remastered. It's been chill.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't drop below like 144. It's a great time.
That does sound like a great time.
The benefit of playing a class other than warrior, I guess. Poor warriors.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about the PvE a little bit. So I think that the PvE is not very good. Obviously, there's probably some combos or combination of skills or like optimization that I can do to improve where it is at. However, I still believe very strongly that overall the PvE still feels not in a good place to me. And I'm not comparing it to Lawn or Striker, but when I compare it to Succ Kuno, which I think is an above average grinder, I think it is so far below the way it feels right now. So essentially, to me, what it feels like is SRMB, Shift RMB, and Shift LMB hit hard, and then none of the filler abilities feel like they do any damage, which is unfortunate because you kind of have to use a lot of abilities to buff and debuff. So if I want ions, I have to use E, and I have to use forward RMB, because those two skills give ions. They don't do much damage in PvE at all. I have to use F because it has the AP buff. It also doesn't do much damage at all. I have to use SL and B because that's the only DP debuff on the class. That skill also doesn't do any damage, despite that one was actually buffed multiple times. And it feels like it's still, all of it just leads to Shift RMB, Shift LMB, and and SRMB. Now, Shift F hits all right for especially for how fast it is between abilities. But the other skills and Shift RMB is a 12-second cooldown, and for anyone that's grinded a spot, Jade Forest or Secrea or Orcs, like that 12 seconds on a grinder that is relatively efficient is much too long, where you're not really going to be able to use it. And when Shift RMB is on cooldown, you don't just lose Brimbolt Strike, you also lose the flow Brimbolt Wave, which is like your second hardest hitting ability. Like I'm pretty sure that ability hits harder than Shift LMB. It's like it's a lot of the damage.
Yeah.
So when
that's the skill that was obliterating me in the 1v1 I was doing. Like the first part would hit and it would take like legitimately like not that much of my HP, maybe like 20%, and then the second part hits and I'm dead. I'm like, all right, sick.
Okay, I died because I was autopiloting and forgot about the the burrows that just start earthquake killing you to death. Oh my god, dude.
Big rip.
Okay, we died again. How do we deal with these burrows once it's up, man? Oh my god. All right, this time it's going down. I feel it. It's so low. It's so low. It's so low. It's so low.
Wait, what is it? What is this? Oasis Fender. What is this? This isn't Ellie.
Oh my god, we died twice, back to back to these burrows. Look, this thing's still doing damage to me. All right, hold on, we gotta clear these burrows. All right, so anyway, and then Shift E, like, oh my god, I can't. There we go, that one died. Where's the other one? Is there more than one? Or is it just those two? Dude,
You're really struggling over there, aren't you?
Dude, if you leave those up, wait, what the heck?
Rusty, you okay?
No, I don't even know what's killing me, man.
Wait, yeah, I turned on his stream. He's 40% HP.
Oh,
just running for his life.
There's another burrow over there. I didn't even realize. Or did that one respawn? My god, dude, this is crazy. You know, I need my 200%. All right, anyway, so none of the filler abilities do damage. Am I just like screwed? Do I just not? I don't think I could kill those burrows in time to actually like deal with that. So pretty sure I'm screwed. Pretty sure this room is just done for.
I do have to. I'm gonna be hopping around a few streams today.
Okay.
So I do have a little bit more time if you guys want to talk about some stuff, and then I gotta go.
Okay. So at my conclusion to the whole thing is the PvE is not good, and one of the things that I did, because a lot of people are like, well, there's no bombs, there's no there's no the old days, there's no absolutes, there's no C skills, and you don't have your awakened weapon yet. So I went on Succ just to test, and I removed my bombs, I removed my C skills, and I took off my awakening weapon, which means she only has a 70-30 split on damage, and she still was killing like nearly twice as fast at Jade Forest than Drakania. So for me, I really, really think that her PvE needs to be improved, and I think a lot of people feel disappointed with how her PvE feels, just because she is such a cool class and she's really fun. And dude, there are 3 of these burrows here.
What do you think they need to do though? Is it just like damage? Is it like?
I mean, they have. I don't know, right? It depends on how they want their class design to be. But either just damage to some of these skills. So, for example, like SLMB and Forward RMB, they're really slow abilities still, but they don't do damage either. So if the ability is going to be slow, I feel like it should hit, at least in PvE, should feel like it hits pretty hard. I don't know, like, yeah, if the ability is going to be slow, I feel like it should hit hard, or they should make some of the abilities that don't hit very hard a little bit faster. Okay, I see this earthquake popping, but I don't see a burrow thing. All right, this room is done for. We're going to a different room. We're out here. We lost. We're defeated. Armin, I know you said you haven't. Wait. Oh, it doesn't even let me go to that one because this room is not done. Okay.
I mean, I haven't. I can't really PvE on her because I already have my main and then my tag class. So it's like, well, it's a little rough. So I can't tag her to actually try her PvE out.
Right. Well, you know, we got 500 free Marna fuel, Armin. What do you mean?
True.
Yeah. What are you talking about, dude?
I'm saving that, man. I'm saving that.
Dude, we got
Dude, I'm
500 fuel.
gonna have to retag, man. I gotta save it. I gotta save
The
it.
the cost of tags was cut in half, and what you can do is you can rip out all your Caphras for 1 silver a piece, 100% return on ripping out Caphras right now, and that lowers the cost of tagging even more. And then you just slap it right back in after you
Even
tag.
after because the cut in half already went, and it's like, dude, even after that, my tag price is still high.
I
Still
know
pretty
mine
high.
too.
Mine's still pretty high, man.
It's still like 3.5 bill or something, which is rough.
Yeah, dude, mine's at like 3 bill. I'm like, dude, it's rough.
Yeah. I want to let you go, Armin. Is there anything, Rez, you want to ask Armin before we let him go?
No. Appreciate you making some time to come and chat with us, brother.
Of course.
Yeah.
Obviously, once again, new regions out. I gotta do my ad stuff. Sorry. New regions out. Everyone. We got everything going on. New class. So we're just gonna be trying to run around and get some community action. Have people know we're here again. So if you guys ever have questions or anything, you guys can hop into official PA Discord. I'm a CM now, so I'm gonna be doing some more stuff on there soon. Hopefully, maybe some polls. And what is it called? Yeah, if you guys want to join the official Discord. Feel free to join over in there. You can probably find a link like in a billion different places,
Yeah.
and you can ask questions, you can post suggestions, and you can also see when Frosty's live on the sidebar. So yeah.
Also, are we gonna see? Are we gonna see you at PAX East?
Yes. Oh. I mean, did you want to talk about? Did you want to talk
Yeah,
about? it
I'm
before I
down.
leave?
Yeah, let's talk
We can do that.
about
We can do
PAX
that. We can do
East.
that. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about on it? I don't know.
I mean, we can just mention what's going on with it for
All
anyone
right.
that doesn't know first.
Fill us in.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, we are holding a event at PAX East, or like it's basically just outside PAX East, called Voice of Adventures. I don't think you can apply anymore, but basically we had applications open for a while. You could apply to come and join. We also had tickets for the main event and then like kind of the after party. And basically, it's just gonna be an event for video players. Come in person, meet up. We have a venue and everything. We have some events planned, some speakers and everything. So should be a great time. And along the way, you guys will get to meet me and all of the other GMs and CMs, at least the ones that are coming. That is.
Yeah.
But
Some
yeah,
of the partners.
and some of the partners. Oh, sorry, and the partners as well. I forgot to say, and the partners as well. Yeah, a lot of the partners are actually coming. Frosty is going to be there for one. Me and Frosty are going to be in the airport at the same time. We're not on the same flight though.
Yeah, stay away from me. I'm gonna be panicking in a corner because I hate
Okay,
flying, so I want no one near me.
Hey, same actually.
Some people are asking two questions. One, will it be streamed, or is there anything that's going to be like shared? From
I
the
don't
event?
believe so. I
Okay,
don't believe. I mean, we're probably gonna have recordings and stuff that we're gonna
Mhm.
post on our YouTube after. But as for actual like streaming live, I don't think so.
Okay, and then is there an after party?
Is there?
People wanna know.
Well, no. That's like it's like kind of like how to explain it? Because the venue's a bar. The venue's a bar.
Venue's a bar. Oh, that's
Yeah,
gonna
it
be.
is.
I didn't know
It
that.
Yeah. I'm only 20, so
Oh yeah.
It kind of sucks for me.
So Armin
but,
will be
yeah.
waiting outside, greeting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, feels bad.
Oh no.
I'm like, what? I think I'm one of the only people that's underage.
Rough, brother.
That's rough.
Yeah, no, Armin's gonna be in the little. It's gonna be the kids area to the side for the people that need to go drinking.
Yeah.
We'll pick them up after. Yeah, I'm excited. That'll be cool. I haven't met any of the other partners at all. I don't think IRL, so that'll be cool to see some new faces.
Wasn't Armin a partner before he was a CM?
No, I got denied on my partner application, and then now I'm roommates with the guy that denied my partner application. So
Wait, actually?
that's a good story. It's a good story.
Oh no.
Oh my god, that's funny.
It's a good story.
Well, so yeah, PAX East, that's going to be April 22nd. I'm excited. Or it's like basically a venue outside of PAX East, but same time as PAX East. So a lot of people are going to be at PAX East and then come to the event. Armin, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
We appreciate
sure.
you
Yeah,
taking
appreciate
the
you,
time.
brother.
Appreciate you guys.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, I'm gonna be heading out.
Later, man.
Have a great stream. Have a
Later,
great
brother.
stream. Bye bye.
Armin TF,
Yeah.
everybody.
I wish I could go to PAX, but I just don't really have the money to make it, and also my family's having a big get together literally at that same time. So
Okay, I died twice, and I am tilted. I lost an Elcar crystal. Luckily, those are free these days. But God,
yeah, right.
damn it, that was annoying, man. I've never let the little someone said it's an AFK mechanic, like a mechanic to prevent people from being AFK. But basically, these elite little burrows spawn around the map in this cave, and once there's too many of them, they're just spawning these earthquakes that just deal an insane amount of damage to you. So you have to like deal with them as they spawn. But yeah, it's actually pretty nuts.
Well, don't go AFK in there.
Well, I mean, I technically was, because I was just like picturing the skills and their damage in my head as I was like going through the PvE stuff. But yeah, back to the PvE stuff. If it were up to me, which it's not, and it never will be, but if it were up to me, I think what most people would enjoy in terms of PvE buffs is to make all of the filler abilities, all the smaller, less hard-hitting abilities like SLMB, forward RMB, RMB, the flow to RMB, SF, all of these abilities, F, E, just faster. If all of these abilities felt really quick, so it was kind of like a mix of, here's a bunch of not hard-hitting but really fast abilities mixed with a couple slow abilities that hit super hard, I think that would be more fun. And then some of the harder-hitting abilities or some of the slower abilities like Shift E, maybe even Shift LMB for PvE, like maybe make these hit just a little bit harder in PvE. So, yeah, it's I think that would be more fun. But at the end of the day, whatever route they take, I'm okay with it as long as it's good in PvE. Like, again, it's always been one of my pet peeves. It's something that I'm incredibly passionate about. I think that PvE is very important, and I don't think classes should be ever feel like they're really, really bad in PvE. I think classes should all feel pretty good. I think there should be a margin that PA looks at, like, okay, like these classes can be somewhere between like 2 to maybe even 10% better than each other at worst. Like maybe the best and the worst are like a 10% difference, but there's no reason why a class should be half as good in a spot than any other class. I think it's just horrible. Right. It feels horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It's I mean, we talked about that a lot before the reworks, right? We talked about the insane difference between the top tier grinders and the lowest tier, and just how like I forget what the most ridiculous example was. I think you compared, I want to say like Succ Striker to like Awakened Kuno, and you said that it was like a 3,000 like trash difference or something like that at like, I forget where, maybe like Sacrea or something. Can't remember. It's been so long, but it was like some insane number. It was like, holy shit. And reworks fixed like a lot of that. There is still a little bit of a difference, but definitely need to like shore up the edges.
Yeah, where even is this? I see an earthquake spawning, but I don't see an elite.
Can I ask you something, Froz? Because you've been grinding.
I think it's inside my tent. Is it inside my tent? Yeah.
You've been grinding at the new locations, presumably for the Labresca helmet, right?
Yeah.
I have not. So I don't know how true this is. This is just me relaying what I have heard other people say. What are your thoughts on the longevity of these grind spots in this zone? Because what a lot of people have been saying is that the silver is awful. There's no like drops to keep you there. Basically, you go there, you get your helmet, and you never come back.
Yeah, I think it needs to be buffed for sure. Basically every spot here. Now, I can't speak for the place that requires a key to get in, but I do think every other spot needs some buffs. The thing is like, now I don't agree. A lot of people think it should be 700, 800 mil an hour, like make it like orcs. I don't agree with that right now. So far I've seen some of the higher end grinders at Yeti make with a yellow loot scroll and temp buff, which is, I'm going to use this measurement as my example because that's what everyone grinds with at orcs is yellow loot scroll and temp buff. But I've seen some of the higher end grinders that got used to it and found a really good rotation getting somewhere between 400 and 450 mil an hour at the Yeti spot. That needs to be bumped up like 30 or 40%. I think it should be, if you're a top end grinder on a high end grind class with really good gear, and you're popping a temp buff and yellow loot scroll at Yeti, which is technically supposed to be a somewhat end game spot. It has the same AP requirement as a place like Orcs. I think it should be, I don't know, somewhere between 550 and 700 mil an hour with all of those buffs on an efficient class. Right now, it's like at the low end, if you're on someone a lot lower, if you're a lot lower end grinder, it's even less. You're looking at like, I don't know, anywhere from 250 to 350 mil, which is not going to keep people here. It's very much like Dregan when Dregan came out. Now Dregan I think was actually worse. I know some people like Cherokee for a short time because of Orconrad belts, but those tanked pretty quickly. But outside of that, like Dregan I think was worse than this. I don't think this one needs like an insane like rework or major changes. It just needs to feel worth going to. Because the spots are really cool, man. Like these are such cool ideas for grind spots. So that's why I really, really hope that they improve them, because I want these to be options, because they're fucking cool. Like they're really cool and unique. I like them a lot. That's my take on that. Also, the lower end spot, the tree fossil spot, I don't know what the deal is, but those to me. Okay, where is this thing? What is spawning this earthquake?
Frosty.
No, dude,
Frosty.
like I don't know if it's just bugged or if it's like glitched underground, but I do not see a burrow on my screen. So what is spawning the earthquake? Oh, the mini boss does it as well. Oh, okay. I thought it was only okay, that was driving me nuts, man. Anyway, so the tower spot, the winter tree fossil, like those crystals, it supports like one person on a channel. Like that's it. Like maybe two, because the crystals expire after a time, so you have to move on to the next crystals, and they stay expired for a long time. Like so, those either need to be just changed, or they need to add like way more crystals, and also buff the spot. That's all. But yeah, the bug spot and Jade Forest, like Jade Forest would easily, if it was good money, like. It would easily be probably my favorite spot right now. I actually really, really like that grind spot. The Yetis. Yeah, I don't know. I think you'll enjoy it. It's not zero money. Like I feel like there's nothing worse than what Shira Ruins was, and probably still is. I don't know. Is Shira Ruins even any money even after they like kind of buffed it a little bit? Like Shira Ruins, and none of these spots feel like as bad as Shira Ruins to me, but they definitely need some buffs. They feel like a slightly worse than Star's End, which doesn't make sense for what their gear requirements are, and for them being like more endgame spots.
I just accidentally killed myself jumping off the cliff doing the Markathon wings into the left click thing.
It's fun though, right?
It is fun. It is fun.
Yeah. All right, let me I'm gonna hop off this class real quick and pull up the Global Lab notes so we could talk about the Global Lab. Overall, I'm really like yeah, go ahead.
Well, I did want to pull you on something that I've been feeling lately, and that I think a lot of people have been feeling lately, and I wanted to know how you feel about it.
All right. Is
there too much protection in the game right now?
I think there is a little bit too much protection in the game, yes. Now, if you ask me, do I think the game should lean very little protection or a lot of protection? I heavily believe a lot of protection, because I think being CC'd all the time is not fun. But I do think that some classes have too much protection, yes. I think you could go through and remove a single protection from like half the classes, and the classes would still feel good if you did it in a way that was impactful but not like ruin the class. But yeah, I do think there's a little bit too much protection in the game, for sure.
Yeah, because I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it. I've definitely felt that way. A lot of people that I hang out with, my friends, my guildies, they all talk about it all the time, how it feels very I don't know, it feels very much like SA just damage trade meta, which basically just means whoever has more gear wins, which is kind of depressing. And also, like, I was in a Reddit thread where people were complaining about grabs as per usual, and I was trying to explain to this person like part of the reason I think grabs feel so annoying right now is that everyone's just sitting in SA, which means that the only way to CC somebody in SA is to grab them.
Yeah.
And that I think that if people were less protected and you could actually CC them with like whatever CC you have, like if you actually outplay them, you could CC them. I don't think people would be raging as much about grabs. I think a lot of the frustration comes from people that literally cannot CC opponents because they're in perma SA, and meanwhile you have like Lon just like dashing around iframe, E grab, and then like free kill. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, for sure. And here's the thing. Here's why I say I'm not as gung-ho about it as other people are. One, I think people just like to complain. Two, there is definitely a segment of the population that was fine with their class having too much protection and no one else's class having protection, and those people bother me a lot because there's definitely a good amount of those people that were like, they never complained about the protection when it was like their class and only a couple others, but now that other classes have competing protection, they're like, oh, that's not okay. Like, I should be able to CC you. You should not ever be able to CC me. So those people I'm not on board with, you know? But I do think there's a little bit of too much protection for sure.
The amount of people that complain about Succ Sage that then go on to say that they're a Musa is hilarious. And they'll say that the Musa nerfs were unjustified. It's like, dude, like Zerker right now is just what Musa was like for 2 weeks after Reworks came out. It's like, it's the same fucking thing, man. It's busted. Just like Musa needed to get nerfed, Zerker needs to get nerfed. There's no like, well, Musa shouldn't have gotten nerfed because now look at Zerker. Yeah, Zerker's also a problem. What do you mean? Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why people downplay what Musa was. I don't know which one's worse. I might argue Succ Sage feels a little bit worse, but I also think it's partly because it's been entrenched for so long that now there's even more of them because Musa happened so fast. There was a reason why for those first 3 weeks everyone was on Musa, not Zerker. There were a decent amount of Zerkers, but they were all on Musas.
Yep.
But yeah, they both
I
are
think
bad.
The main thing is that
yeah.
as frustrating as it is to fight against a Zerker, they don't have an ability that literally just one-shots you. I mean, Fiery Crevice was literally just like one-shotting everyone instantly. There's nothing you could do about it. I mean, it was so crazy.
I don't know. They're both dumb. All right, so
100%.
Definitely too much protection in the game. But again, I think I don't know how you address it properly. I actually think that if they were like going to address it, they would have to be so careful.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to make a class feel like absolute trash if you remove the wrong one. You know?
Well, I don't know. I almost feel like they just need to do like a not necessarily a rework, but like a CC rework V2. Like just go through, touch all the protections, all the CCs, like reevaluate everything.
I wouldn't mind that so much. Like
I mean, it's been like a long time since the CC changes, like a long time.
Yeah.
So
April 2018.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 4 years. I mean, 2018 was only 2-3 years after the game dropped. So, I mean, maybe it's time to like we just massively overhauled the classes. I'm aware of that, but maybe we need to look specifically at CCs and protections and try to realign with whatever like we're aiming for, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, just a thought. Because that's definitely one of the things that makes Succ Sage feel very miserable, by the way.
Yeah. Like someone's pointing out, they almost like you remember how empty the game was for a little while after those initial CC changes. Like that is so that game and in Lost Ark, you kind of feel it. That version of the game right after the CC changes like that. People don't have fun laying on the ground. It's just not fun.
Yeah.
I think you can find a balance where people feel like they're mostly upright, but are CCable.
But okay, so like this would be my question though. Why are there not more skills that don't have protection and don't CC? Why does every single skill have to do one or the other? Why can't we have a couple protections, a couple CCs, maybe more protections than CCs, and then a couple skills that just don't do either?
You mean like the Rabom, like a lot of the newer Raboms, where they just are damage mostly?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, I feel like they're almost afraid of making skills that don't do one or the other. It kind of feels like, and I don't think they should be.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, I mean, even Drakania has a few that don't do anything, but the thing is like, it depends too, because you have to factor in when you just look at, it's not as black and white as like, well, this is protected, and this one is a CC, and this one is a protected CC. You also have to factor in like, how fast is this class, and how fast is this ability? Because, like, for example, Behead the Dead is a really, really great catch that doesn't have protection, and it fits really well in that class, and it doesn't need protection. It's one of the reasons why I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why Shadow Eruption has super armor, when it's like, that skill is so fast. It's so easy to not get caught by it already. Why would you ever make that skill protected?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a few things. Even like the float on Tenon Cutter, like, absolutely does not need to be protected. There's a lot of skills. Like, I don't know. Imagine if they made, like, the thing is like, I joke about a skill like, or I joke about Shadow Stomp, like having super armor, because people are like, you know, whatever, like back in the day. I always make that joke, but now it's like, dude, it doesn't even seem that unrealistic with the way some of these skills are protected CCs. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, if they were like during the reworks, if you really think about it now, and they gave Shadow Stomp super armor, I wouldn't even have been that surprised. I would have been like, that's fucking crazy. But now it's like, but skills like that don't need protection, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
But on, like, so for example, I'll use Guardian as an example. You can't just make everything unprotected, because then it's very difficult for them to catch. But I actually think what they could do, one thing I wish that they would do is some of the SAs would make way more sense as a forward guard, because a lot of the times forward guards are punishable.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're not punishable by everybody. Like, a Guardian doesn't really do well at punishing another forward guard.
I definitely think, like, that's where a lot of the frustration comes from, right? Is there's so much, like, specifically SA, and again, grabs is the only thing that you can deal with SA. So you have all these non-grab classes that feel like they can't, like, do anything because there's so many people just sitting in SA all the time. And if they were frontal guards, then you could at least say, like, okay, if I outplay this person, then, like, there's the potential, right? If I can, like, maneuver behind their forward guard and make them use a skill with a small animation in an unfavorable position that I can quickly get behind, you know, that's forward guard instead of SA. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. I think I definitely think it's something that they should take a look at.
Yeah, an example of some of the ones that I like that they removed or changed, or in this first example they didn't, is Sin Splitter. So Sin Splitter is an insanely powerful protected CC, the core skill Sin Splitter, where it ignores collision, you have super armor, and it has a bound on it. But against a player that knows what the skill is, the end of it is unprotected, and it's punishable by good players. Another one was like Nimbus Strike. I think Nimbus Strike was threatening and it was risky to try to punish, but you could punish it, and now you can't. It's just fully protected. Same with Spiral Cannon. And I know, like, it was a pain point for a lot of strikers and stuff, but I don't know, having that opening right now, it's actually weirdly, strikers grab is like the only spot you can punish them. It's kind of true in a lot of classes. Yeah. On Guardian, on Kuno, a lot of the times, like, I guess Shadow Stomp, but it depends. Like, some of the cheesy Succ Kunos that, like, super try hard, they don't even use Shadow Stomp. They just, like, avoid it entirely. They just like do their 2 protected CCs and back out.
Yeah, that class is very insane, Frosty. You should feel bad for playing it.
No, I don't feel bad for playing it, but I do hate that it's that strong.
Dude, what? Okay, actually though, like, what is going on with the movement on that class? On God, I'm in RBF. I'm watching this Kuno run away from me. There's 5 people in between me and this Kuno. He's probably a good 30 distance away, like literally running the opposite direction. The second I turn my camera away from him, instantly on top of me. I'm like, what? He was just going the other way. What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
wild, dude.
I mean, outside of the second flash slash, they didn't actually change the movement that much. They did make Tenon Cutter easier for newer players, but for the people that already played it,
much.
yeah, for the people that already played it, were already able to do that. So I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I would love if that class got nerfed. Just hopefully whatever the nerfs are don't nerf their PvE. That's my only hope. Hopefully
What if they nerf
intact.
only their PvE? They somehow manage to keep their PvP exactly the same. Just the PvE gets nerfed. What would that do for you?
I would be so sad, dude. I'd be so sad. Unless they buff Drakania PvE, then maybe I'd be able to live with that for a while, but yeah, I'd be pretty sad. Yeah, anyway, I think that's a hard task. Like, here's the thing. Let's say they do take on that task quietly in the background. PA is like, you know what? A lot of these classes are too protected. We're going to remove something. No matter what they do, they will get so much backlash regardless of the changes they make, because everyone will, because here's what'll happen. You'll be reading through the notes, right? You'll pull up the GLabs. You'll be like, all right, let's go to blackdesertfoundry.com, which does a fantastic job of translating all these notes. You're going to run through like, okay, there's CC changes. People are like, oh, this is great. They acknowledge there's too much protection in the game. You're going to read the blueprint, right? And you're going to be like, oh my God, hell yeah, PA listened. Let's go down and check. Okay. Striker, Nimbus Strike no longer protected on the landing. The end of Spiral Cannon unprotected. Great. And then once they get to their class, and they read it like, what the fuck? Why would you remove that from my class? It's broken. Now my class is shit. My class is dog shit. Everyone's going to be happy when they read all the other classes, and they're going to be fucking pissed when they get to theirs.
Oh, yeah.
So it is while I do think they should address it and need to one day, it needs to be extremely careful, and also they will get nothing but hatred for it. It will be non-stop hatred.
Okay, but I would say that I think it would be good in the same way that I think the CC changes back in the day were good for the game. Like there might be like growing pains and that people don't like it at the time. They're really like annoyed with it and they like quit or whatever. But then like even the people in your chat that were saying like, yeah, that's when I quit the game. Like, well, interesting. Now they're here 4 years later playing again.
Right, but the thing is they've added a lot of protection. Like, not even just now, like even a year ago, there was way more protection than the initial release of the CC changes. Like Musa's, like anyone who's played Musa or Mewa for a long time, even while they were still considered not great in PvP, they still added a bunch of protections here and there. They did the same thing on, like, especially when they added like the new ability for some classes, like Kuno got another protection from that. So there's like a middle ground where I think that was like kind of a sweet spot, but the part of the problem is not every class was there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, in different eras, like different classes have been at a sweet spot that probably would have been great for the game, and now like some are just way beyond, if that makes any sense. I don't know. You know what's actually Fearmatic just reminded me of this by existing in the chat. I think that Succ Hash overall has a pretty decent balance between protection and not protection. I think Succ Hash like legitimately has, if you could somehow get every class to feel somewhere near where Succ Hash is in terms of how much protection and how many openings, because I always hear Succ Hashes complain they have no protected CCs, but they have but they do have quick CCs, which are punishable and make you have to strategize when you're going to use them. But they do have 2 really good protected CCs. One of them is like literally one of the best protected CCs in the entire game. So that also makes me laugh when Succ hashes say they have no protected CCs. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, they feel catchable.
Wait, what skill is that? So I can hear people complain, like, what? That skill? That skill's not even that good.
Mirage is one of the all-time great protected CCs, and any Succ hash that thinks that it's not is literally fucking trolling. It is a forward guard at the start that teleports you into a super armor stun. It is insanely good. It teleports you on their back when your forward guard gets hit. And you can use it, and it becomes even more powerful in Awakening because you could use it with both Awakening stance and pre-Awaken stance. It is such an incredibly powerful CC. That is like one of my all-time favorite skills, and it is insane. Like, I love that skill. It's one of the reasons why I love hash, but that skill is pretty nuts. It's not actually protected on the CC part in a group fight. Well, it is if your ping is decent, but that is true for everything. Yeah, I've never been CC'd out of that ability, ever. Ever, when using it against CCs. I'm always able to get out of that ability unless I have Sand Warp on cooldown and I can't iframe at the end of it. And I stay there too long. It is definitely a protected CC. It doesn't linger. It doesn't give you a whole lot of time to just sit there, but it's definitely protected CC. But yeah, that skill is awesome. I love that skill. Anyways, regardless, I do still think Succ hash, more so than Awakening, because Awakening has a couple essays that they can hold for a long-ass time. Like Ensnaring Sands buys you a ton of time. Shift R&B, Serpent's Coil buys you a ton of time. But Succ hash, like, I don't know, for the most part, if they want to catch you, and Mirage does require your opponent to do something first, or you can find a, like if they have a disc or a tornado up, you can pop it. But anyway, it's I don't know, it's like a decent balance, at least to me. And yeah, it's hard-hitting skill. It has 1 hard-hitting skill that's protected. It has 2, I guess. Ridge Reaver's pretty hard-hitting and quick, but it has only like a couple hard-hitting skills that are protected, and then you do have to weave in your combo a couple things that are not protected. So, I don't know, it's a I would love if classes... I think Succ Ninja somewhat straddles that balance as well. I just think like Succ Ninja feels oppressive to some of the slower classes because it's so quick. But that's, you know, whatever. Anyway, all right, let's go to the global lab changes real quick, and then let's hop off. I gotta, if you're okay with it, I'm also kind of down to do comments next week because.
Yeah, no, we can. That's fine for me because I'm running low on time anyway. So.
All right, so Calpheon, Elvia, Rhutum, Garrison. I'm gonna pull up Jang's video here. I'll send it to you as well. He's a Korean streamer. He streams on YouTube. He mains Ranger. He made a video of him grinding the spot. It looks like, to me, Calpheon or Rhutum, Elvia Rhutum looks to me like what's it called? Kind of like the Star's End towers a little bit. Like you're sitting there. It looks like mobs are just spawning around these black and red orbs. Yeah, it says that they spawn around the flag. I guess they're calling that black and red. They're guarding the flag. Rune warriors flock to defend. So, and then at some point, I think you kill the flag. It looks all right. I'm not a big fan of the standing in one place and grind that much. The only reason I really like it for Labyrinth in the snow area is because it's such an overwhelming amount of mobs. It makes it fun, just killing that many mobs at a time. But when it's like Star's End or like how this looks, where it's like a couple mobs spawn at a time, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. So
I'm trying to get somewhere safe so I can look at the video so I can have some input.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of rogues. They can kill me. I don't have gear. Alright, let's see here. So you said it's like Star's End?
Well, it kind of reminds me of Stars and Towers. Like they just spawn around these flags, I guess, and keep going. I mean, he's moving a little bit, but it's like I don't know. They spawn slow, like annoyingly slow to me. Like right now, this between the last spawn and the first one, like I don't know, right around a minute 20. So he kills a mob at 117, and then he's just like walking around for a while. There's only really one other mob for him to kill. He's like walking around. He avoids this AoE, and then the next, it was like 10 seconds before he started fighting the next set of mobs. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the spawn, the slow spawn balance, or slow spawn of the towers. But, and again, we don't know. The same thing for the troll, anti-troll fortification. We don't know if what the trash loot is or what the money is going to be. They don't have any of that on GLabs right now. It just like drops trash that's worth 100 silver as like a placeholder. Yeah, and also, I don't know, man. I don't know why they feel Elvia needs a filter. I still just wish they would remove it entirely. Like the mobs are already kind of different and weird, so I don't know. Does the whole area need to be? I just hate how it looks. Caca green, you know?
Nah, I don't know. I kind of get it for like lore stuff, because the whole thing is it's supposed to be an area is tainted by the corruption or whatever. I don't know. I kind of get it, but I do agree, like aesthetically, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you.
This part looks cool, like right around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Like
yeah, that's where I'm at, actually.
This red shit spawns all around. It looks like there's way more mobs spawning at this point.
Yeah.
So maybe it builds
He's
up.
like really having to go hard here.
Yeah, now he's just going nuts. This part looks kind of fun.
So I wonder if that's like in a rare drop, like if that's the org spawn of this zone.
Maybe. So is this a boss? Oh, look, he fights a boss at the end. Wait, that boss looks crazy. That boss is creepy as hell. Archlord saying there's 3 different phases he's testing on labs. So it's like starts off kind of slow, then gets crazy, then this boss. Is this the last phase? Oh, is the boss basically Gaiath? He's sitting down. Looks like it's Gaiath.
Yeah, it's the model in the attack animations appears to be Gaiath.
The spot requires 280 AP, or is recommended 280 AP, 360 DP. Oh, dude, the mob hits at 358 to like 401. The mob hits him twice and it chunks him.
Yeah.
Why the camera shake though? I don't know. He just plays with camera shake on his GLabs account. Okay, then the boss dies and the darkness goes away. I like the darkness for that. Oh, wait. Now there's like archer looking thing. Okay, well, there you go. It looks kind of cool. I wanted to get your opinion on this. I think they did they update Quint Hill? All right, real quick, let's go. I want to talk to you. They added the processing stone thing, improvements that they talked about at the ball, but Node War and Siege. They said many adventures, including Calpheon 2 Episode 2, have left comments. And it's just, sorry, poorly translated. Have left comments that they would like to enjoy Conquest Wars in other areas than previously enjoyed Conquest Wars. Therefore, we'd like to rotate the stat limits that were applied to each territory before the occupation. The rotation of the pre-occupation stat limits will be changed or maintained as appropriate based on usage status of adventures. So now, Calpheon has the Medaya caps. Medaya has what the Valencia caps were, and Valencia is uncapped for Siege. Your thoughts?
I think that's good. I know some people probably don't like it, and I mean, I don't really have too much of an opinion because I don't siege, because that's miserable. But you know, I think rotating it around is good, and so that if people like it, it would be more so for people who don't like a specific castle, right? If they don't like the region that the capped stuff is in, to move that to other regions so that they feel like, oh, I can go fight this week. That's probably good.
Yeah. I think they should rotate this like every 2 months, or maybe even every 1 month or 3. I don't know. And then also, where's Balanos and Serendia?
Yeah, that was literally when I read that. The first thing I thought was like, Balanos, Serendia? Oh no, they're just rotating it between the 3. Okay, fine.
The other thing is, I actually think a lot of people would love this same type of rotation for Node Wars, so we don't have to always Node War in the same region.
Yeah, probably.
Like, put some of the caps that are on the lower level things over in Kama and Calpheon for a while, and then let some of the stronger guilds go fight in Balanos Serendia, kind of thing. You know, rotate it around. I think that would be super nice. I'm actually so bored of Camo Wars. Well, partly because every guild only wants to war on Navarre and Steppe and nowhere else. The Poly Forest Wars are actually pretty fun, but yeah, Navarre and Steppe I'm kind of over.
Yeah, we're stuck in Mandaya at the moment. It's not super fun.
Yeah, they also changed some of the rules on the buildings, how many of certain buildings you can have. They also buffed recovery centers, but they buffed recovery centers. It's kind of crazy.
They buffed the time that it cuts down?
Yeah, so resurrection waiting before occupation is reduced by 3 seconds, and now it's reduced by 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's actually a big change.
That's a huge change.
Yeah.
And that's doubled. Like, that's crazy, actually.
Yep.
But I mean,
nice.
I actually do think. Well, okay, I don't know. I think that's a good thing for like players in general, because less time dead is always a good thing because it's more time playing and enjoying the game. However, I'm wondering, like, man, how's that gonna affect like actually pushing and stuff if like death timers are cut in half? Like, that's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it is. I think it's pretty nuts. It's a huge difference. If you have like I don't know, in their example, like 5 recovery centers and they're each lowering the cooldown by 6 seconds. It's a very long time.
Yeah.
So if you wipe someone's recoveries, it's going to be pretty impactful now, since you're going to be able to respawn and regroup quickly. I would love. I mean, I think. Well, it's weird because initially it's going to basically make both the guilds survive longer. But if you are able to get down recovery centers, it's going to make the snowball a little bit harder. Right? Like, I would think.
Yeah.
At least in theory. Because if I have a 30-second lower respawn time than you, like, holy shit. My guild's going to be able to go
Getting
nuts.
Recos down in the late game is going to be, like, the most imperative thing because of the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, man, that's actually a really good point. Yeah, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't know if that's a good change. Actually,
I haven't had a chance to talk to like PAX, Noah, and Gutter about it because I know they like nerd out about this stuff. I'm curious what they think.
I almost would have rathered, instead of just buffing Recos, like, if you want to change that, allow for more Recos to be built then.
Well, it's interesting you say that.
Oh,
because for the command post, the limit went from 5 to 10, and for the field command, it went from 6 to 5.
What? Along with the buff? That's crazy.
Yeah,
what
so the
fuck?
field command, you can have one less, but a command post. Wait, what's the difference again between field command and command post?
I think. Wait, isn't field command just for Balanos Serendia Wars?
Is it? I don't know. It might be.
I think maybe. It's been so long since I've like built.
No, I think they changed. I think it's
Siege.
changed because of the cap. So it's like I think you have a different fort on.
Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Are there any builders out there? What's the difference again between command post and field command? No,
Yeah,
they don't mean flag because you can't build recovery centers on a flag.
Wait, so that means? Oh my god, dude! So you're gonna be able to take off a minute, right?
A long ass time.
A minute, right? Because it's 6 seconds. You can build 10 of them. 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And didn't they cut death timers in half for Siege like a couple months ago too?
A while back, yeah.
Dude, what the okay. I mean, it's certainly gonna shake things up.
Yeah, they also changed for command post. Again, I haven't gotten what the difference is, but the command, I forget off the top of my head which one's which. I've never built. Even when I was at GM, I never built. No, these are both for Siege because they have Siege defense towers, which is not a Node War thing. They also changed the cannon observatories from command post from 10 to 3. But then on field command, it's still 10 and 10. Or it's still 10. And you can have more siege defense towers on both. One went from 20 to 40, the other went from 40 to 60.
Again, my instant reaction is like, oh, thank God. But then I'm like, wait, hold on. How's that actually going to affect things? Like, that actually might not be super good, actually. Hold on. I gotta think this through a little bit. Hold on.
Yeah. And then quality of life changes. Moving on. They're adding better descriptions to items so newer players know whether they can delete it or not, which I think is a good thing. Because you kind of do get a lot of shit when you're playing, and you know how it is. Whenever you play a new game, you're like, wait, am I going to need this? Can I get rid of this? My inventory's kind of filled up. This looks like trash.
Right.
So they said they're going to improve the skill descriptions to improve that. They also are lowering the weight on a lot of shit. Blackstones, memory fragments, items for pets and fairies, items for catching horses, seal items, hunting related items, crystal materials, gold bars, shells, guild supplies, keys, costume designs. All of that stuff is getting like lower weight. There's like a huge list of stuff.
That's good.
Yeah. Very interesting that they released the 350 LT thing right before this. So, 344 items, apparently, have had their weight reduced. Which is pretty cool. Field HQ is for nodes with castles. While Command Post says otherwise on the descriptions, that's what I could see in game at least. Nodes with castles. I wonder... Yeah. I'll have to ask. I'm curious on those the recovery center changes. I'll ask PAX his opinion, then I'll report back. Drakania got a couple of changes, mostly QOL stuff. There's like a couple little tweaks. F, which is the AP buff skill, feels significantly faster. I went on GLabs and tried to test every one of these changes, and that was the only one where I really noticed a difference. And then Shift Q, you can end it a little bit earlier, which is the Mark the Non scale, which is the PA. Outside of that, everything else is felt mostly the same. So we'll see. I do think for balance changes, what they usually do with newer classes, they did it with Corsair, they did it with Nova, they did it with Sage, is a lot of the changes come directly to live server at the same time for at least the first few weeks. And then after we have Awakening and our bombs and stuff, then it kind of switches back to where we wait 2 weeks and it's on GLabs. So we'll end up seeing what happens. Yeah, and that's kind of it, Russ.
Alrighty. Well, is there anything else you wanted to bring up, or are we good to get out of here?
We are good to get out of here.
Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody so much for listening. Thank you so much to Armin for coming on and talking with us. I guess I'm gonna have to ask him what to plug, because usually we just plug their stream or their YouTube channel or whatever. But
that's easy. Check out Black Desert's official TikTok. It's on there. I believe it's on their website. Also, try out Black Desert Online. Also, new Drakania release, new class. Go check it out. Also, new region. Go check it out. And Tamer Bugs. Go check those out. That's it.
Yeah, I'll message him and I'll be like, hey, for the end card that I usually put the people that come on the show's stream, you want me to just like put a monologue of your advertisement?
Link to naeuplayBlackDesert.com.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, big preach for him taking the time to come talk with us. If you want to check out our streams, you can find those in the description of the video or MP3. Twitch.tv/SoFrosty, Twitch.tv/NotReslar, and for Nyashi, who unfortunately couldn't join us today, Twitch.tv/Nyashi_NA. I almost forgot his URL there for a second. Yeah, and oh wait.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't do the list, did you?
I didn't do the list!
You better thank the patrons, man.
I didn't do the list! I said I was gonna pull up the list and I didn't pull up the list! Hey, you know what? I remembered here. I remembered here. Alright, I'm gonna do it now. Okay. My bad. Listen.
He's gonna add it in the beginning and post.
Nobody really cares anyway. They all just wanna support. Thank you so much to Garmoth.com, Melt on Your Mouth, Wavesy, Hawaiian, and Minaria for supporting us, and everybody else who supports us on Patreon. Sorry about that. My bad. I got so caught up on how to bring Armin in that I completely forgot to do the patrons. Oh no. Anyway, that's it everybody. Take it easy.